You know me, I always say that the number one problem in America is communication. We all don't know how to listen to each other, and we all want to force our thoughts, force our views on others. So I'm gonna give you a good example where my first life lesson came in learning how to listen to people and being patient in interpreting what they mean. And this was, I was in a place, a state club, and I was standing out in the yard talking with everybody. Me and all the fellas just talking. And you got your different groups, your different organizations, everything. And we all just was hanging together, rapping. And I had my tank top on. I was swole, just standing there talking. I was about 19 years old. I was a young cat. And there was just this white dude. He was all inked up, and they were what you call those goth guys. And they had the real wild hair and, with all the black fingernails and everything. And they did weird stuff, but we didn't care. We all hung together. We were in together, we were there together at their place. So we hung together. Nobody thought anybody was better than anybody else. But this is what happened. So we standing there hanging, and this guy's just looking at me and just saying, "Man, effing freak." Then he walk off and kind of just, then he come back and, "Man, I can't believe what a freak. You're just an effing freak." So I'm listening to this cat calling me a effing freak, and I'm like, "The hell wrong with this dude? How's he gonna just insult me in front of everybody just like this?" So they calling me a freak. You know what I'm saying? They're like I'm a freak with one arm or, with a big weird head or whatever it is, whatever he was seeing in me. This dude just insulted me in front of everybody. So he just kept saying it over and over like he wanted a response from me. Well, he finally got that response. And I went off. And I said, "Mother, if you say that again, I'm going to break and knock your teeth out and I'm going to," and I gave him this big threat. Now, he wasn't nowhere near the size of me. And I was known for my martial arts skills. So, of course, he backed down immediately. But he looked at me with this really weird look, and it wasn't a look that I expected to get. It was almost looked like he was hurt, and he walked off and left. And so the boys who was hanging with me, they said, "Man, what you get mad for?" I said, "Man, this dude sitting there calling me a freak. What do you think I am, a punk or something like that? It's that." And they said, "Jermaine, a freak is a compliment. When he's saying that to you, he's saying that you're freaky. The way that you can build without having to use steroids and drugs and things like that, you're a freak. He looks up to you." And I just sunk right there, man. I was like, "Oh my goodness, I cannot believe that I just dissed this dude like this." So we all have to be careful whenever we're communicating with people to make sure that we're interpreting what they mean correctly before we give our emotional response. Slang is one of the hardest things in the world to understand, for a person to understand. And no matter how many books they try to write on slang or street talk or ebonics or whatever it is, there can never be one. Because the whole idea behind slang is that you have to know the person to know where they're coming from. You have to understand the person. You have to understand how they mean things. You have to understand what they've been through. So when they say something that's a slang term, you can understand the true definition of where they're coming from, which communication is the biggest problem that we have in America. We've got a lot of different languages going and flowing. We got so many different religions. It's the giant melting pot. So it's a giant melting pot of all these people who think their way is correct, or they think the way that they interpret things is what's right and there's no other way, whatever. No, this is the way I look at it, so that's what's correct, which causes us wars, causes us all these problems we have. So I'm going to give you a definition because you hear me use a word a lot, and this word is gangster. All right, now, of course, if you watch TV, you watch CNN, you live out in the really nice neighborhoods, then to you, a gangster is a bad person. It's a bad thing for somebody to be gangster. Or if you watch the old, gangster movies from back in the day where they shooting up everybody with Tommy guns, you said, "Oh man, that's different." So that's not what I mean when I say gangster. And there are a lot of people from my culture and from my background in my neighborhood, when I use that word, they know exactly what Jermaine means when he says, "Man, that's gangster, baby." But damn, you gangster. That's a compliment. That's actually one of the biggest compliments that I can give you. There's actually one compliment above that y'all ain't even ready to hear about from me that I could call somebody. So we don't even talk about that right now until I can see that you guys out there are starting to think for yourself and figure this out. Because when you start thinking for yourself, then you can interpret things the way you interpret, but you can understand the way I'm trying to tell you. I interpret that we come together and we listen to each other, talk to each other, and we figure out all kinds of new stuff. And the least we do is we learn how to get along. So when I say gangster, when you see me and I see something and somebody does something, and I say, "Damn, that was gangster." Or somebody says something, I say, "Man, he's straight gangster with that." What that is a compliment. What I'm saying is, to be gangster, all right, from my terminology, means you're a person who will stand and die for what you believe in, regardless of who does or does not like it. All right, it has nothing to do with being a criminal or doing things wrong. Most of the time, it has to do with doing things right when you're standing against oppressors or corruption or crooked people, because you know that when I do this or when I say this, the powerful crooked are going to come after me and come down on me, and I don't give up. You know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it. That's gangster. So that's what that means. So I just want to give you guys a little idea on that now, so you can understand what I mean when you see me posting gangster. When your kid does something awesome in gymnastics, and I say, dang, that was gangster. That means they put themselves at risk regardless of what it was. They was going to take their risk, take that chance on getting hurt. So that's what that means. It's a compliment. It's a good thing coming from me. And take this, message that I'm telling you. And when you start dealing with people, don't get offended so fast. When they say something, when they do something, don't let it offend you so fast,